Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. We are now live as this is the third live streaming as the warm up for Semana do Inglês do Trabalho. I'm teacher Fabi Montanari, and if you are here for the first time, welcome to you. And if you're here for many times, welcome too. It's very nice to have you here. And today we're going to talk about what's fluency for communication in business English, in business contexts. Okay, this is a very important talk as part of the preparation for Semana do Inglês do Trabalho. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Semana do Inglês do Trabalho is a big event with a sequence of classes in which I'm going to explain the strategies and the way for you to overcome the challenges and the difficulties you have to become fluent and confident when you have to speak English. Okay, so Semana do Inglês do Trabalho will start on June the 23rd. We have a sequence of 4 classes, some extra activities, everything prepared for you to be aware of where you are and what you have to do to become fluent and confident when communicating in business contexts. Okay, so if you haven't registered yet for it, you can go to the link in bio or to the link in this video here if you're watching on YouTube, and you can register. Uh, Enter with your name and your email, and I will send for you the invitation for you to join us on this special classes. Okay, is the sound okay? Can you hear me really well? You know, during the day I was really scared of not having enough voice to come and talk. I had many classes today, and my voice, I've been coughing since Sunday, and my voice is really not, it's not good. So I was scared that I wouldn't have enough voice to come and talk to you. But thank God, I think it will last until the end of this live talk here. Okay. It's good. Albertina and Adriana said the sound is okay. So let's start. When you talk about fluency in hold on. When we talk about fluency in business contexts, there are two things that there are two possibilities. First, you need to understand English as lingua franca. Okay, in Portuguese it comes from Latin. In Portuguese we say lingua franca, and you need to understand that you are always going to be a foreigner speaker of English. English is not your first language. It's not my first language. Okay, uh, as first language, I have Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, and because of that, we are foreigner speakers of English. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to communicate in this language. It just means that you need to consider some things. Otherwise, you are going to be frustrated. So fluency for communication in business English is more related for you to is more related to you understanding this and knowing what you can do and what you can't do yet in order to work on these things that you can't do. But when we are talking about this, fluency comes from flowing ideas. And this is something that I consider it's really hard in my classes, in my method, in the way I like to prepare the content I bring here to you. I don't want anybody here to be perfect speakers. You can be, but you don't need to be now. You just need to be able to communicate your ideas in a way that it is effective, in a way that ideas are clear, in a way that you are confident about what you said. And then it will become effective. Okay? You have to turn the page from speaking English to complete exercises in your books to the page where you can communicate your idea and express your emotions. When we're talking about expressing, sharing our ideas, it means that I can be happy, I can be an enthusiast of a topic, I can be energetic, I can be aggressive if necessary, in a good way. Aggressive when you need to say, imagine you are participating in a global team and you are a very experienced engineer, maybe, or anything like that. And people are trying to have a solution for a problem that you, with your technical view, you know that it's not going to work. And you need to be able to be clear and say, this is not going to work. We need to find another way. And this is not related to a perfect grammar structure. This is not related to all the vocabulary in the world. So fluency comes from the possibility that you have to understand that, and from the level that you are now, be as clear and confident in communicating your ideas as possible. And I'm trying to speak really slowly, so I make sure so that I can make sure that everybody gets the idea. And is this clear for you? Because I think this is so important, and I love talking to you in English. I really do. But above these, I need you to understand my message here today. And I'm not sure that all of you here understand it. We can have conversation classes. You can listen to me speaking English in a really fast way. We can have this conversation. But in the moment now, in this moment, it's more important that you understand my message. So you can't really, Mari said, you can't really get the message. Okay, I will speak in Portuguese. So I'll open a parenthesis to speak Portuguese so that you can get the message. O ponto aqui, quando a gente fala de fluência, alguns entendem, outros não entendem, mas nesse momento, como de fato a mensagem é muito importante, eu vou ter momentos para falar inglês com vocês. You understood, Mari? You understood? I'm not sure now if I speak Portuguese or not. So I will give this message in Portuguese, okay? It's difficult this to be, I need some automatic subtitles from English to Portuguese. And this is another topic I want to talk to you about, ok? Mas o ponto aqui, ele é tão importante que eu preciso que vocês entendam a mensagem, tá? Eu adoro conversar em inglês com vocês, eu sei que vocês gostam de ouvir, isso é uma baita de uma prática para vocês, mas eu preciso que vocês entendam o que é fluência. Muitas vezes, I will come back to English, okay? Just hold on a little bit. I will be back to English. Mas eu só preciso que todos entendam, todos que estão aqui entendam que fluência em inglês é fazer a sua ideia clara, eficaz. É comunicar a sua ideia. Mesmo que isso represente que em um determinado momento você, dentro do limite que você tem de comunicação em inglês, você faça isso da melhor maneira possível. Muitas vezes eu vejo alunos travados para falar inglês porque ele está tentando conversar no mesmo nível que ele tem de domínio do português. E aí a gente volta para o primeiro ponto que eu coloquei nesse papo de teacher de hoje. O primeiro ponto foi, a gente precisa entender que nós somos falantes estrangeiros de inglês. A nossa primeira língua, isso não dá para mudar, a nossa primeira língua é a língua portuguesa. A gente não muda isso. A gente pode ter um domínio proficiente da língua inglesa. E eu quero que todos vocês tenham. Mas o inglês no trabalho, ele significa que você precisa ser capaz de comunicar as suas ideias de maneira clara e eficaz. E talvez isso signifique que você tem que descer 1 ou 2 degraus aí na sua comunicação, no nível de complexidade da sua comunicação. Em termos de estrutura gramatical, em termos de vocabulário. Talvez você precise falar frases mais simples. A gente vai ter um papo de teacher na semana que vem, se eu não me engano. Deixa eu ver que dia que vai ser. Tem algum dia da semana que vem que a gente fala sobre isso. Sim, a gente vai ter na semana que vem como entender o seu nível real de inglês. Isso é importante para você ter uma comunicação mais eficaz. Então, dentro desse cenário, você precisa ser o mais claro, e o mais eficaz possível. Às vezes significa que você precisa ser duro na mensagem. Muitas vezes eu vejo aluno tão preocupado com a gramática, a Mari colocou aqui de novo, que ela é triste da gramática. O aluno, porque a gente vem de um histórico, de um background de processo ensino-aprendizagem de inglês que sempre enfatizou o exercício correto da gramática, né? Vamos completar o exercício, porque se você errar numa prova gramática que está sendo cobrada ali, você vai tirar nota baixa. Então a gente foi condicionado a nossa vida inteira a ter medo de errar. E isso não é só no inglês, é em todas as coisas, mas no inglês acontece isso. A gente vai tirar dos livros, talvez muita coisa de matemática que a gente errava em prova, você não vai ser testado numa reunião de trabalho. Mas o seu inglês que você começou lá a ter na escola, isso, de certa maneira, para muitas pessoas, o medo de errar por conta de um medo de uma reprovação, uma nota baixa, não passar no vestibular, isso fica marcado na gente de uma maneira que a gente nem imagina. Então, muitos alunos que eu vejo, eles estão travados porque exigem essa perfeição que não é o que é necessário para uma fluência em business. Conheço muitas pessoas que têm problemas, não têm inglês perfeito, mas têm grandes oportunidades na carreira, porque comunicam as ideias. Então, fluência em business contexts, ele está muito ligado à sua capacidade de spread the message, comunicar sua mensagem, tá? Então, esse é o ponto principal aqui, tá? E respondendo outra pergunta que eu vi que passou aqui, alguém falou assim, como melhorar a gramática e tudo. Então, eu entendo que ainda muitos têm essa deficiência. Dentro dessa live da semana que vem, que a gente vai ter como identificar seu nível real de inglês, gramática é um dos pontos que pega na identificação do seu nível real. Ali eu vou dar algumas ferramentas para vocês e dentro da semana do trabalho vocês têm esse mapeamento completo. Então, se você não está inscrito ainda, se inscreve. Mas dentro muitas vezes a pessoa fala assim, nossa, eu tenho dificuldade com gramática, mas não sabe exatamente o que não sabe da gramática. Eu tenho um livro de gramática aqui do meu lado, eu dei de exemplo ele na outra live. Tem 99 lições. As chances são de que, se você pegar para fazer essas 99 lições de gramática, ao final você vai continuar com as mesmas dificuldades para se comunicar, talvez com um pouco mais de vocabulário. Mas o seu destravamento para falar inglês não vai vir de você saber toda a gramática. São outras situações que a gente precisa equilibrar no momento de uma comunicação, numa reunião, numa apresentação, tá? Então, dentro desse mapeamento de identificar seu nível real, existe essa possibilidade também de você identificar qual que é o seu nível de gramática, por quê? Você não precisa estudar essas 99 lições. Talvez a gente identifique aí nesse mapeamento que 6 dessas lições são as mais críticas nesse momento. Então, vamos trabalhar essas 6. Depois a gente identifica mais um outro bloco de necessidades. Aí trabalha mais. Então, dessa maneira, ela fica o processo, e isso eu vou explicar de uma maneira bem didática dentro das aulas da Semana do Inglês para o Trabalho, que a gente vai fazendo aquilo que dá mais resultado para a gente imediato. Tá? Então, não há um problema. Essa semana eu tive uma situação com uma aluna, que eu estava numa das aulas de conversação, e ela ficou um pouco chateada porque ela errou alguma coisa de gramática. Mas eu falei, olha, a gente conversou inglês essa aula inteira. Esse erro de gramática não comprometeria a sua comunicação em inglês. Vamos valorizar isso daí? Vamos valorizar a mensagem que você conseguiu passar? Eu consegui entender que você teve um problema aí. Dentro da situação que a gente tinha lá, ela teve um problema com o marketplace. Eu consegui entender. Eu falei, essa é a importância. Essa é a mensagem. Ok? Is it clear for you, people? Can I go back to English? Or you prefer me to continue in Portuguese? I need to drink water, people. My voice is almost in the end. That's it, Mari. Okay, escolinha. This kind of regular learning process, it works. It has always worked, but it takes a lot of time. Okay? When you have help to identify what you need and organize the parts like this, remember I said this on the first on the first live on Tuesday. It's like this cube And then you have to imagine it's all scrambled, and you don't know how to solve that. You have a lot of English baggage. You have a lot of information about English language, but it's not organized. So you just need some help to identify what do I need to do first to help organize my communication in English. Okay, so this is the point. I remember a long time ago, long time ago, I used to work as an interpreter. Okay, I was an interpreter for AmCham, American Chamber of Commerce. I went to university, and in my university, uh, the American Council, the United States Council, went to the university looking for students, university students that were fluent in English to work in these fairs, these trade fairs. Trade fairs are those fairs that they bring some entrepreneurs from the United States, and they have some entrepreneurs here, and they have commercial negotiations. And I remember I was okay. For me, I was already an English teacher, and I applied for this position. It was like a freelancer position, and I applied for it, and we were paid in dollars, so it was really good. And then I was approved in the process with the American guys, and I started working in these fairs. The first time I worked there, it was a company that they used to make lawn mowers, cortadores de grama. And what do I know about cortadores de grama? I don't understand about that in Portuguese. And all this gardening stuff. I have always lived in the city. I have no idea about that. Okay, I'm a girl from the city. I live in an apartment downtown, and I have no idea about this gardening stuff. So, uh, okay, the company was about all this gardening stuff and lawn mowers. Okay, I know English, but I have no idea about this. And I'm going to participate in meetings, decisive meetings with them about something that I really have no idea about, not even in Portuguese. I would have problems to speak Portuguese with them in this kind of negotiation. Said, okay, what can I do? Get prepared, over prepared. So I studied, and this was back in 2001, people. 2001. We are in 2024. So we didn't have internet as the way it is nowadays. We couldn't Google things in that time. We had the paper dictionaries, and I had some marketing documents from them that they used to use. I got all of it, and I studied, and I got the dictionary. What are all the words about gardening stuff? And then I studied. I got over prepared, and then I went to the meeting. Did I understand everything about the meeting? No, and I was responsible for translating it to the Brazilian people. That, oh my God. In the end, everything went fine. Okay, but this over preparation helped me a lot. And the funny thing is that, okay, so for the when I say communication in business English, we always think about presentations, meetings, and this kind of talks. But we also have to consider that maybe you are going to have a business lunch or a business dinner with your partners, your suppliers, with your customers, and then you need to speak English too. And okay, I wasn't supposed to have lunch with the people. I was going to have lunch by myself. But these American guys, it was a couple, an old sir and an old lady. They were married, and they had this familiar company about gardening, lawnmowers. And okay, I remember that if you are from São Paulo, you know that Amcham is near São Amaro. And from there, I think the closest shopping mall is Shopping Morumbi. So everybody would be, all the entrepreneurs would be driven to Morumbi Shopping to have lunch there. And then, as they spoke no Portuguese, they came to me and said, Fabi, would you have lunch with us, please? Said, because we don't speak Portuguese, we can buy food in Portuguese. I said, okay, then let's go. And then I went to this mall with them, and they wanted to know, of course, the hamburger fast foods they didn't want to go to McDonald's. They wanted to try something typical. And in the food court there was Casa do Pão de Queijo. And they said, what is that? And then I explained what's pão de queijo to them, and said, okay, we want to try this, uh, like the sandwiches in cheese rolls, in this cheese bread, cheese buns. Okay, I'm not sure about the word, but I would say cheese buns, and filled with ham and cheese or cream cheese. And okay, we went to this place. I explained to them, and then we went to buy. And I was talking to the attendant and translating things to English to them. And there was a juice for free. If you bought a sandwich, you got a juice for free. And there were some flavors that they could choose, and it was on the counter, no balcão. There was a list of the possible flavors. First one was orange. Okay, I read laranja, and then I said, so you can choose one of these flavors here. So you can choose from, you can pick from orange. Second juice in the list, what was that? Acerola. How do you say acerola in English? How do you say acerola in English? I have no idea. In that time, I had no idea at all, and we couldn't Google. I couldn't go to the internet and find Google an image and show the berry, and then I had to find a way to communicate, to be clear, effective, so that he could understand. I said, okay, what's acerola? I have no idea, and it wouldn't help me speak it like acerola. It wouldn't help him. He had no idea. And then I said, okay, acerola is kind of a berry fruit, like strawberry, blueberry, or it's kind of a berry. It has more vitamin C than orange. It's nice, a little bit, it's not so sweet. It's good. I want to try this one. What's the name of it? It was like an old fat sir said, I want to try this one. Typical American guy. I said, okay, so a acerola for him. Then he drank it all, and then said, how do you call it again? Acerola. How do you pronounce it? Acerola. It was fun. Okay, then he liked. But why did I bring this story to here? Because fluency in business in business English relates to this too. I wasn't prepared for that. I had prepared myself for this lawn mowers or these business meetings. But this is part of the communication too. So you need to find strategies and techniques to be able to make people understand you, even if even if you don't have all the vocabulary, even if you don't have all the grammar to control the situation. Okay? There were many questions here on YouTube, many talks here. I couldn't read it all. I'm coming back now to read. If you have questions here on YouTube, maybe you can let me know. What happened here? Someone asked me if I graduated in languages. No. I graduated in international relations. So international relations at PUC, São Paulo. Cough is different than coffee. This is a pronunciation trick. We talk about that. What else? It's impossible to know all the words in English. There are a lot of different words among the US and the UK, for example. There is in Portuguese too. Even here in Brazil, if you're from São Paulo and if you go to Rio, first time I went to Rio, I really didn't know. I really didn't know that what we call here in São Paulo as pão francês is called pão de sal. But we find ways to find it. I was in the bakery. I was in the line to buy pão francês. For me, it's pão francês. I don't know what's it like for you. I was in the line to buy a long time ago, 20 years ago. And I heard the people in front of me asking pão de sal. And I saw the guy picking what I know as pão francês and giving to the woman in front of me in the line. So I said, okay, so here we have a vocabulary difference. And then I started using pão de sal. In English, it happens too. Sometimes we don't really know the exact word. And as foreigner speakers, we're not supposed to know it. And the good part is that they don't expect us to know about it. I went to, I don't know if you are a recent follower or if you've been following me for a while, but in April, last April, 3 months ago, I went to the United States for a corporate event with my husband. He worked for an American company, a multinational American company. There was an event there. I was invited to join him in this event, like a recognition, annual recognition. So we were there, and there, of course, there were many Americans. We were in their country, and I was talking to one of the directors of the company that lived in Brazil for a while. He's American. He and his wife were there. They're both American. They lived in Brazil for 4 years. And of course, he knew my husband, and so we were talking in English. And because he knew we were Brazilians, he wanted to speak Portuguese with us because he lived here. And then he spoke slowly, and for me it was really nice, this talk. And I asked him in the end, I said, can I ask you a question? I told him. I said, you worked in Brazil, you were American, you worked for an American company, you speak perfect English, and you speak really good Portuguese. You both. And then I talked to him and his wife, and then he said, Fabi, because American people can't pronounce my name. They can't say Fabiani. No. Even when I worked for the American company, and I had to talk to the people, they couldn't call me Fabiani. They simply can't. So when I see they have this problem, I just tell them, oh, just call me Fabi, and it's okay. Because Fabiani, it doesn't work for them. They used to call me Fabina. Hi, Fabina. I said, no, no, just call me Fabi. It's better than Fabina, that you are making up my name. You're inventing my name. But okay. And then he said, Fabi, here's the thing. I lived in Brazil. I can speak. I learned Portuguese. I wanted to learn Portuguese, but I know I will never be able to speak as fast as you do speaking Portuguese. And you speak English a lot better than I speak Portuguese. But for me, I don't really care about people. Once they are trying to talk to me, my mother tongue, in my language, in my first language, once I try to, when I understand an employee or anybody trying to speak English with me, this is a lot better. I don't care if they don't speak English perfectly well. I don't speak Portuguese well. I can work in Portuguese, but I can't, for example, he said, I cannot discuss politics or economics, but I know enough to have my job done. And then I talked to his wife, and she said, okay, Fabi, in Brazil, I didn't work. I was a housewife. I was just with him. So I was driving the kids to school. I was picking them up. I was participating in the meetings, parents' meetings. I was talking to the maid, the person who helped her at home. And she said, my Portuguese is not so good as it's his, my husband's. But I could go to the supermarket. I could go to the mall. I used to go out to have dinner, to have lunch, to go to the manicure, to the hairdresser. I used to do all this stuff, but my communication in Portuguese is more limited than it says. And we don't really care if Brazilian people are speaking correctly or not. So if you're afraid of not speaking English because we're going to make a mistake, they don't care about that. Okay? I bring this story, I like to share this story because I know it's important for you. Fluency is not related to perfection. Fluency is related to keep your conversation flowing, to keep your ideas being communicated. Okay? Of course, this is not a reason for you not to want to improve. But you need to understand where you are and make the best from where you are, and then you improve that. Okay? Final message here. And I'll say in Portuguese because I want to make sure everybody understands me. Tudo que eu falei aqui, toda a história que eu conversei com os americanos, agora que eu estive lá nos Estados Unidos, que eles trabalharam aqui no Brasil, não tem problema, eles não se importam. Eles valorizam muito o fato de sermos estrangeiros tentando falar a língua deles. Eles não se importam com eventuais erros. O que é mais importante nesse momento na comunicação, no seu trabalho, é você conseguir fazer a conversa fluir, é você conseguir comunicar a sua ideia. E para isso vai além da gramática. Quem estava aqui ontem que viu o exemplo que eu dei? Ontem, do I told you to do that. I told you to do that. I told you to do that. É a mesma frase, mesma gramática, mesmo tempo verbal, mesmo vocabulário. Mas o que mudou aí é a entonação. E a entonação comunica uma ideia diferente. Quando eu falo I told you to do that, eu te falei para fazer isso. Imagina você numa reunião, um chefe, né, um supervisor, um líder falando com você assim, I told you to do that. Eu te falei para fazer isso. I told you to do that. Eu falei para você fazer isso. I told you to do that. Eu falei para você fazer aquilo, não isso. Então, essas mensagens que ficam pela entonação correta, pela colocação correta, é mais importante eventualmente do que você falar. Só pensar na frase correta, gramaticalmente, você não está preenchendo um exercício para passar no vestibular. Você precisa comunicar sua ideia. Então, tenham isso em mente, please. Yes, keep your message clear. That's the point. And all of these, we're going to talk about it during the classes, starting June the 23rd. They are going to be more pedagogical, okay, more structured. This is a talk I'm having with you, and I'm open to listen to your questions now. If you have questions, just bring to me. And tomorrow we have another talk again. And tomorrow, it's great. Tomorrow is the power of storytelling to express your ideas. Storytelling. I like talking about that, and I will bring you examples. Marcus said, there's a mental block in the most cases to do it. Yes. And I think this block comes from the fear you have to make mistakes. Yeah, same hour, Mari. Same hour tomorrow, 6:30. The power of storytelling to express your ideas. And you see, I'm not talking about the perfect grammar again. I won't be talking about this tomorrow again. Okay? Same time tomorrow. Yes. So I'll see you tomorrow then, 6:30 p.m. talking about the power of storytelling. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye, people.